All right, I would like to call the August 4th, Mount Angel City Council meeting to order. Please join me in the flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Eager.
Here.
Councilor Astorga.
Here.
Councilor Donahue.
Here.
Councilor Patterson. Councilor Hooper.
Here.
Councilor Black.
Here.
Mayor Bowell.
Here. All right. The council will now receive public comment. We value the time and initiative members of the public take to share their thoughts with the council. Council's role during public comment is to not immediately respond, but to listen. If there's follow-up necessary, we will direct city staff to do so. Remember, we all model the way for our community, and we ask everyone share their thoughts respectfully. Those who have completed the public testimony sign-in sheet will be called on one at a time to step forward, or turn on their cameras or mics. Doesn't look like we have anybody, and state their name. And please note that speakers have 3 minutes to express their thoughts, as noted by our new timer, so I don't have to continue to use my phone. So, do we have, I see we have one signed up. Go ahead, Mr. Kehoe. Oh, we had, yeah, come on up front, whatever. Oh, I had a podium.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Kehoe, 625 North Garfield Street. This is in regards to the previous discussion that was tabled from June's or July's city council meeting in regards to Chief Daniel's contract as both police chief and city manager. Did you start the hourglass already? Oh, you don't have to. So with that being said, with all due respect to Chief Daniel, Mr. Mayor, or Mayor Fallon, I am not opposing the contract because I feel that the job is being done poorly. I'm opposing the contract strictly on principle because I feel that the police chief and the city manager roles should remain separate. I encourage the city and this council to seek out qualified candidates that may fill the city manager role in its own. Combining the roles of the police chief and city manager in a single individual presents serious concerns regarding accountability, transparency, and the effective operation of local government. These two positions require distinct skill sets and are meant to provide checks and balances on one another, not to be merged. First point, conflict of interest. The city manager is responsible for overseeing all city departments, including the police department. The police chief also serves as the city manager, creates a conflict of interest where one individual is essentially supervising themselves, removing an important layer of oversight and objectivity. Lack of checks and balances. Good governance depends on the distribution of power and the ability to hold leadership accountable. When the roles are combined, it undermines the structure and reduces transparency, making it harder for residents and elected officials to ensure responsible leadership and management. Specialized skill sets. The role of police chief requires expertise in law enforcement, community policing, and public safety. The city manager, on the other hand, must have a broad understanding of municipal administration, budgeting, urban planning, infrastructure, and more. Expecting one person to effectively manage both of these roles dilutes the effectiveness of each. Public trust and perception. Concentrating too much power in one person can erode public trust, especially in matters involving law enforcement. Residents may feel that the complaints or concerns won't be addressed impartially if the top executive also leads the police. Operational strain, each role is already demanding. Combining them increases the risk of burnout, mismanagement, or neglect of critical duties. Important issues could be overlooked due to the time constraints or divided attention. Again, this has no reflection on Chief Daniel. What I am more concerned about is the city itself and the prosperity of its people. Mount Angel has so much potential, most of which surprisingly has yet to be tapped into. And with a vote to confirm the contract is a vote against growth, innovation, and prosperity, in the respect that we won't have somebody in a city management role who brings new ideas to the table, has a passion for quality of life and the city itself, and the sole focus on the betterment and beautification of Mount Angel. Mr. Mayor, you yourself have championed projects over the last few years, and I thank you for that. But there is so much more to do. I have half dozen ideas right off the top of my head that I could speak.
Hey, Michael,
Yes,
I
sir.
gotta cut you off, bud.
Thank you for your time. Appreciate you giving me the opportunity to speak.
I would welcome you to stick around until it's on the agenda. And I think some of your comments will be addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Can we request that he send what he has to the city for us to read?
He can leave a copy with Colby. All right, do we have any other interested citizens? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Kehoe. So moving on, accounts payable report. I will go around the room and see if we have any questions. I know I have some. Hopefully you will catch all of mine. Counselor Astorga.
I had one, but it's nothing. I looked into it, it's fine.
Okay. Counselor Black. Counselor Donahue.
Good.
Counselor Hofer. You guys are failing. Counselor Eater.
Not a me.
All right, my turn. What are the shields from 911 supply?
Those are 7 tactical shields that will be deployed to any vehicle so that every officer when arriving on a tactical scene will have a shield.
Okay. Oh. Got it. Thank you.
They're rolled up as opposed to the hard ones. We've got one hard one that I got donated
Okay.
after I started working here. And so the roll up ones make it so that we can actually put them in all the cars.
Perfect. When the under Cherry City Electric, the Main Street streetlight hit, were we getting reimbursed from whoever hit it? Cool.
CIS clawing back.
The what?
I said that charge you see was CIS clawing back some because we got all of it and didn't pay our deductible. They're like, hey, you need to pay us our deductible.
Okay, so that brings me on to CIS. Is that an annual fee?
Yes.
Okay. And two more. One is, I noticed that part of the workers' comp is broken out to the sewer utility fund.
Workers' comp?
Yeah,
Yeah, so.
okay, because it's general fund, so police, library, city min, public works. And then expenditures in the sewer.
So we code it to where all of our payroll or our salary is taken from, so.
Okay.
All of our salary is in general fund except for the one sewer. Because all of that can be paid by the sewer. The public works are split for allocations among the other departments, so we hold it in the general fund and then split it out.
Okay,
But aren't you supposed to use enterprise funds for that? So like your water, for your, like when your water bill, or your water bills.
Paying for
That, yeah.
public works, yeah.
So I just was wondering why you're using general fund and not enterprise fund.
It's just a place where we can present the wages as one lump sum, so you don't have to go to a bunch of different funds to see how much one worker costs.
Okay.
And then we split it out to the enterprise funds.
I'm assuming we'll hear about the Newburgh Ford charge later.
Go ahead.
As part of your city manager report, you're gonna share, right?
I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, moving on to order.
You said Newburgh Ford?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can tell you right now.
Oh, I didn't want to like, if you were gonna talk about it, I didn't want to ask the question now.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I mean, so in the public works budget was an amount so that we could replace one of the service trucks. And so we went shopping and we found a service truck all ready to go, except for the amber lights, which are going to be upfitted probably within the next month or so. And, Alan could actually speak to it. It was like, I think I'll use his phraseology, the perfect truck right there. So, we were able to make a deal and, we had to wait till the new fiscal year. So we did until July 1st and then made the swap cash for the truck and we went and got the truck.
Awesome. One request, no bumper stickers from other states on this one. We're in Oregon. Keep it to Oregon. All right, I'm gonna go around the table for questions on the finance report. Counselor Storga,
None.
Counselor Black. Counselor Donahue. Counselor Hoover. Council President Eater.
I do have a few, so on the expenditures, why the big difference in like the police department, city admin payroll, and evidently capital outlay, we didn't spend much of what was budgeted.
Packet page 14.
Yeah, I'm on it. It's a little more detailed than just a straight answer, but I can tell you on capital outlay, that's where we were budgeting all of the public works amount for vehicles, knowing that we weren't gonna spend it, and then this year we did do that same thing, so I think they had $400,000 we knew we weren't gonna spend. It's where we do the 4% or 6% now on the building maintenance that we know we're not gonna spend unless an emergency or something comes up, right? So we budget that like we're gonna spend it, knowing that we likely won't. So that's capital outlay. Police department, they had salary savings because they've been short almost 2 officers the whole year. So
That's the majority of that. Probably.
I haven't drilled down to it, so
Okay.
I'm telling you what I know off the top of my head. I don't know everything. If you want more details.
No, that's fine. And city admin payroll, about $160,000.
Hold on, let me find it.
Next page there.
Same page, page 14.
I know that we budget a full salary for both positions in case something happens to him and we have to mid-year or some, so that's some of it. There could be other nuances.
Sure. All right, thank you.
Uh-huh.
I know we'll potentially get to this, but we're still working towards another budget meeting this year. So that we can start setting up some reserve accounts to alleviate these massive differences that.
I definitely need to, and I need a reminder. I've been buried in audit.
Should I remind you now or in 3 weeks?
In 3 weeks, after I get back from vacation, so sometime September.
September,
Great.
okay. So I think that will help, so we don't have some of these where we go, hey, we only spent 14% of our fund. Because then it'd be in a reserve, it'd be
Yes,
differently, it
yes.
would be
Mhm.
clearer on the finance reports, okay?
Yeah.
Let's follow up, maybe you're talking about that. So where do all these savings end up? The money that we don't spend.
It ends up.
Top line of next year.
Yeah, pretty much. It falls, so during audit, they say anything you don't spend goes into your ending fund balance, which then becomes your beginning fund balance, and we redistribute it for the next budget cycle. So we kind of already re-allotted that money.
Yeah, because we had
Real
anticipated rollover, right?
Yes, we anticipate, or I guesstimate what our ending fund balance is gonna be, and I put it in to our estimated beginning fund balance, and then we start divvying out that money in that budget cycle, the budget we passed on June 1st, 2nd, 3rd, whatever that was.
So most of those funds, let's just say. The enterprise fund versus general are gonna all be separate, right? So if you have extra in the sewer, water, it
Yes,
stays that way.
yes, absolutely. That's legal. Yes, has
Yes,
to.
that's what I'm assuming.
Yes.
Yeah, that was because I was gonna say that runs into, yeah, issues there, but, I do wanna say, is there any possible way that some of that carries over into contingency? We add that to, some of that to the contingency fund?
It
Some
depends.
percentage or
It
whatever.
depends on the year. So if
Okay.
we have major projects, our reserve for future may be less than the prior year, or it may be more than the prior year. It just really depends year to year.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. Did that answer your question?
No. But, yeah, I guess am I hearing you that whatever is saved, it's already tagged for specific expense for next year also? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, so before the year ends, we have to adopt a budget for the future year, so. There's no in between that this money isn't already reallocated in
Okay,
the
so
current
we have
year.
an adopted budget for this, so this is last year's.
This is ending of
Ending
last year.
So
Mhm.
you, when you budgeted for this coming fiscal year, you anticipated these
Mhm.
uh
Si-
overruns or
Savings.
under. what you
Yes,
wanna
yes,
call
yes.
them, And it's already been allocated.
I want to change one word that said though, to make sure we're clear for everybody. To a fund, not an expense, right? So it's already
So fund
allocated
item.
into a fund, not a specific item or expense, right?
It's already allocated to items, yes,
Okay.
but the general fund extra stays in the general fund.
Yes.
The sewer extra stays in the sewer.
Any other questions before we move on to consent agenda? All right, moving on to consent agenda. Did anybody have any corrections or notes on the council minutes from July? All right, hearing none, I would entertain a motion.
I will move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
It's been moved by Counselor Eder, seconded by Counselor Hofer. Roll call, please.
Counselor Bullock,
Aye.
Counselor Eder,
Aye.
Counselor Hooper. Aye. Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Ott is absent. Mayor Fountain.
Aye. Mr. Daniel, I'm having a brain fog. On the quarterly reports, is something we just ask if we have any questions, or is it something that is shared in any level of detail?
There's nothing that city staff intends on sharing in detail. That's why we have the reports in front of you that you.
Thank you. Any questions on the quarterly department reports that were included in the packet?
Nope.
All right, hearing none, we will move on to unfinished business. So, we have, rolled over from the July regular city council meeting, the employment agreement, for our city manager and chief of police. And there are two minor corrections. One was a typo that was found. It's literally one letter off in the word termination in section 3A. And the other one is in section 2B. When we spoke, I stated that that automatic renewal would be for 120 days. It still had the 1 year in it from the previous revision. So those two things we've discussed and will be accounted for prior to executing this agreement.
I just saw another typo.
So there will be 3 minor changes to the document prior to us executing it. If it were passed.
Instead of chief of police, it says chief of policy.
Well, it was close.
Yeah, anyways, I just,
All right. I looked at it too many times, clearly. So with that, before I get into my comments, I will open the floor to counselors. If they have anything that remains to be discussed, Counselor Donahue. Counselor Storga,
Other than changing it from 5 to 3 years.
Counselor Black,
No, I appreciate the time.
Counselor Hofer. Counselor Eder, did I already check on you?
No,
Are you good?
I'm good, but I'm gonna make one comment, but I've always been kind of an advocate over the years because I've been through a lot of city administrators, but I always feel that a city administrator, and maybe this is of all the government, they're protected and their severance. And I'm not gonna pick on you because you earned your severance if we terminate you without cause. But I always feel 6 months should be not negotiated, but they should earn it. That's a nice sum to get rid of somebody that doesn't work out. And I've seen it happen. And it costs the city dearly, but from here on out, but there's always negotiation. You try to take one thing away, they're over here asking for something else. And pretty soon you kind of throw your hands up. And I know 6 months is probably common, but I always felt that 6 months should be earned. However, it's drafted up in a contract
Talking like years of service. Yeah, right here.
without cause.
Not being earned. What do you mean by that? I think I.
Well, if they're here one or so years and they don't work out, there's 6 months paid.
So you're talking about-
He doesn't get in his line of work. I don't get it in my line of work. He don't get it in his line of work, but government employees are protected.
So,
Some,
Some, yeah, I'm gonna say some.
we got two of them that don't,
Yep.
well,
sitting at the table.
that is correct.
So Ray, to answer your question, because I've actually kind of had a little bit of an insight on the whole severance thing. A lot of city managers do that because it takes almost a year to get, and right now, the job market for city managers is crazy. That some cities are looking for a year, 18 months to 2 years for a city manager because they're retiring. There's a shortage of them. And so, and it's also to protect them because they're at will employees. So if there's a changing of the guard, and let's just say, I'm not picking on Mark, but let's just say he likes blue, but I like pink. And everybody else likes pink, so he doesn't like blue, or he likes blue, so we're gonna get rid of him because he doesn't like blue.
Yeah.
There is a lot of that going on in this nation, and we don't see it here in this town. But it does happen. And so.
But that ain't,
I don't like
that ain't our
6
problem.
months.
That ain't.
I
our problem.
understand that, but you have to understand to get anybody of good quality, a good city manager, and I'd say, from here on out. You're gonna have to kind of say, hey, look, if you wanted to work for us, this is what we have to ease their burdens, because a lot of these guys are moving across country. I just heard City of Drain hired somebody from like Minnesota. So it's not just, hey, I want the golden handshake, these guys are looking.
But it doesn't change me. I feel they need to earn it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah,
So.
but I'm just giving.
But I'm gonna go to bat and say something about Mark, and I'll address Michael with it, but Mark's doing a great job, and with what Tony says, there's not a ton of administrators out there. And I'll go to bat and say that Mark's leadership team allows him to do both jobs, both in City Hall and the police department.
So what I think could happen at some point in the next 5 years and 120 days is we can work to draft up our initial offer for any subsequent city managers. And I could see you putting in there that for the first 18 months, they only get 3 months. And after 18 months, they earn 6 months.
Maybe.
And we can see if
You're
anybody,
awful generous.
and see if anybody, see if anybody bites, right?
But
At some
they're
point-
gonna negotiate something else over here.
Right.
Because that's what they do.
every city manager contract that I reviewed is at 6 months. I'm with you. I think
I don't agree with it.
it should, there should be like a vesting schedule, right? But we're not there on this one. This one is a second contract.
Like I
So.
said, he already earned it. He already earned his 6 months.
So with that, to go back to some of the previous comments made tonight and last month. Is there was, on paper, there was a gap. Now, it never showed itself. It never showed itself as a gap, but we had a gap. You know, if we really, really got to the nuts and bolts of it, I question if we ever went to court with Mark. Sorry, you're the punching bag tonight, that's not the way it's meant to be, but if we ever went to court to Mark. You had two position descriptions, and one of them said that you reported to the other one, and whether it's clerical or otherwise, that's the way it was written on paper when I read it. Right? And so with that, that is why now it is one job description, and everything that Mark does reports to the council. And there is no theoretical shadow gap of if he does something as the police chief, he would ever report to himself. That shadow gap is gone. It was a perception. It was on paper that way, but it never came out in an actual. It was never an actual issue. Now, I've been through 3 of Mark's reviews. And I understand the concern of the centralized power. I understand, honestly, all of the comments that were made earlier this evening. But we're standing at a point where I've had the opportunity to not only work with Mark, but go behind his back and see what I can sneak out for information from his staff and those kinds of things. And in my line of work, I work with a lot of municipalities. I fight a lot of cities for a lot of stuff, and I end up dealing with a lot of city administrators. And if it wasn't for my experience with other city administrators, and it wasn't for the fact that Mark has been successful in his job for 3 years, I would have the same concerns that were presented this evening. But because that's where we are, that's why I don't. And that's why I negotiated the contract that I put before you guys. There's my 2 cents. Is there anything you'd like to say? It's your contract.
I'll just say that I think it's fair. I appreciate your open comments, but I appreciate Michael coming. Everybody's got an opinion. I respect everybody. You know, I'm actually not the only one anymore. I was the only one, recognized by the city managers and the chiefs associations, which I belong to both. It's been quite a blend, and it's been actually very refreshing and very good for a lot of people, because I'm able to interpret both ways. And we've definitely put Mount Angel on the map. We've had much more engagement with legislators, both at the federal as well as the local level, than we ever had before. I've been testifying on behalf of Mount Angel, but like I said, I'm not the only one involved. The city manager and chief of police is now one person in Swedenborg. So there is something happening. But it's also fairly common when city managers leave that they tap the chief of police. Because a lot of what you do as a city manager has a lot to do with community policing. It's like working with people and figuring things out. And yeah, it's a steep learning curve, but I was thrown into the deep end of the pool when I took over. And I have the best staff I could ever dream. You know, I've been offered other jobs. I was offered 2 jobs last week. I've got no reason to leave here. These people are amazing, and yet, you know, flips my switch, if you will, to be able to lead these people and for them to be able to train me and teach me amazing things, so that we together can do amazing things for this community, and that's exactly what's happening. So I just want to say thanks for the opportunity. Thank you for working with you. I think this is a fair contract. And I look forward to moving through this. I have no misnomers about the fact that whether or not I'll get to 5 years or not, but I have no reason to leave.
Appreciate it. And actually, I did learn of another weird combo just real quick. There's actually a city administrator / finance director. And to me, that almost seems like a bigger conflict of interest. Chief of police and city administrator. I won't say the community, they know who they are. So with that, is there any other comment from the table? All right, I would accept a motion.
I guess it failed.
Well, you gotta make one way or the other, so.
I move to approve the employment agreement between the city of Mount Angel and Mark Galen.
Second.
I have a motion from Counselor Donahue, seconded by Counselor Hofer. I'm going to abstain from the vote because I negotiated the contract. Roll call, please.
Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Black.
Aye.
Counselor Eager.
Aye.
Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Astorga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. And Mayor Val has stated he is abstaining.
Thank you. I know that there are some disagreements or concerns with it. But based on where we are and our opportunities, I think this is the right way forward. All right, we won't be offended if you guys want to bail now. Okay. New business, municipal judge pro. Is it tempore? Pro tempore?
Think so.
Tempore? Our substitute judge agreement renewal.
It's temporary.
Tempore?
Yeah.
Okay. Nope. So. This one is, sorry, I got flipped too far ahead here. I'm just gonna talk to Tara on this.
Yeah, so our 1-year agreement with Lucy is up and we have no reason to do another full recruitment, so we would like to extend a second contract with her with no termination date. Since it's not paid at this point, like she hasn't worked for us. We don't foresee a need, so the value of the contract is really low. It's like it's zero.
So we don't do this, won't do this again next year.
No,
No termination date.
So it says the term of the agreement through August 31st, 2026.
oh, did I? Okay,
Has not been otherwise terminated or set forth in the agreement. This agreement will renew for subsequent annual. Periods, so.
oh, yeah, so it auto renews. It auto renews each year, so if we want to terminate her or us, we can.
Okay,
But there's no exact, like. We have to do this every year.
I am just double checking for Counselor Eater that there is no severance package.
No, there's no severance package.
Right. Any other questions? From council?
Nope.
All right, hearing none, I will accept a motion.
I move to approve the new agreement to continue Lucy Hill's appointment as municipal judge for temporary.
I'll second.
We have a motion from Counselor Hofer, seconded by Counselor Black. We have a roll call, please.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Black.
Aye.
Counselor Eager.
Aye.
Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Counselor Astorga.
Aye.
Mayor Val.
Aye. Next, item 9B, we have updating and adopting workers' compensation coverage for City of Mount Angel volunteers. This one is also Tara's.
So, as stated in the, council action form, I wasn't aware that our stated amount in our prior, or our current, as of now, resolution is way above the standard for our public safety officers. It was pointed out at the, audit that Safe did with me last year, so I went to go update it. Turns out it was a much bigger process than I thought it would be. We ended up removing Oktoberfest volunteers under the public events because we don't have any volunteers. We just pay everybody. Or they work for other people and not us. So through some back and forth, we got it where Safe is accepting this new updated resolution.
All right.
So we overpaid in prior years.
Yeah, but it's,
And in going through the audit, did they offer a refund of some of that overpayment?
no, because we had underpaid in another sector on during the audit. But I believe the percentage rate is pennies on the hour. So I mean, it might have been a couple $100, maybe a year in.
So it's,
So we,
it was small, did I just hear that?
yes, yes.
It did look small. Looked-
Yeah, no, the rate that we say the $800 and then we pay like a percentage on
Okay,
that
so,
$2,400.
right, okay, that's not the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
Okay. Haven't gone through safe audit, so you can kind of square up what we owe them or what we owe pay.
Yes.
Why that's the question.
Yes, yes.
Any other questions? Okay. I would take a motion.
I move to approve the attached resolution adopting workers' compensation to the city of Mount Angel volunteers.
I'll second.
We have a motion made by Counselor Select, seconded by Counselor Astorga. Roll call, please.
Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue.
Aye.
Counselor Ott is absent, Counselor Black,
Aye.
Counselor Eater,
Aye.
Counselor Hooper.
Aye.
Mayor Bauer.
Aye. 88 curb ramp improvement project. Mr. Daniel.
Well, I think it's all pretty well outlined. As you can see by the length of the cap. I probably could have gone on for pages and pages and pages. But I tried to make it as brief as I could. Since you had the contract right here with it. Basically, this is the project and they are moving ahead a lot faster now than what I think we just told. So this contract, IGA, if you will, it's an intergovernmental agreement between the city of Mount Angel and the state of Oregon. For the construction of the 88 ramps. And it's 32 ramps, is that right? 32? Yeah, 32 ramps. And then the traffic control device, which is a high visibility pedestrian control for, everybody's seen them. Pedestrian walks up, pushes the button and high visibility amber lights are flashing. They're going to be installing that at the intersection near the fountain at Church Street. So it's for the curb ramps and the traffic control device. This is an agreement between ODOT and us to basically give them the right to be in our facility areas. That we have jurisdiction over. They'll be in their areas, they'll be conducting construction activities. They'll be acquiring more spaces. And I know that you have a couple of questions, but I think it's about perception, the way that you read it, more than it is anything else. But I'll let you ask your questions. I have been working with ODOT on this project now for at least a couple of years. It's really good that it's coming to fruition, given all the stuff that's been going on budgetarily on the federal and the state level. So it is definitely my recommendation, and I've read this with a fine tooth comb. It's been everywhere. I'm ready to move ahead on it. There's nothing mysterious here at all. I'm not afraid of this agreement. This does replace an agreement which we did try and look for and find from 1968. But I'm confident that we're in a good spot. Moving ahead, especially in this project.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes. So.
I don't always let myself go first.
Yeah.
Does this help us with getting potholes fixed?
The utter lack of pothole repair shall not be a consideration in this current agreement.
I will tell you that I have asked them, I don't know how many times about repaving. And I get we're not sure when that's going to happen.
So a semi hits one of that potholes in front of 76 and tips over and takes out the gas station and out the town.
And we will hope that all the safety measures are in place for both the shop, the gas station, and we have highly trained first responders that will come, as close as 2 blocks away. We will take care of it.
My question is, are we gonna start putting away and funding future improvements as this all becomes our,
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly. But there's no, like I said, there's no real way of telling, at least at this particular moment, what kind of maintenance we're gonna have to actually produce. Like I was talking with Alan about this. You know, in some of the areas, it's probably gonna be very, very minimal.
I just don't wanna be like, down the road, we gotta do some major repairs and then why didn't we put away the repairs for this? So,
You're absolutely right.
especially since we've already had storm lines crushed going across the highway, where we still have a leaky water line somewhere that we can't find. And so, right, so I don't wanna get, you know, caught with surprises that, hey, ODOT did all these improvements. And now we don't have any way to pay for the upkeep and maintenance of it.
Yep.
So,
Just like everything else that we've been methodically going through, you know, we've been putting money aside for all of our city buildings and all of our city infrastructure. So,
but what I'm saying is that means that we're gonna have to. It could possibly lead up to. Costing us more in our budget. Our budget's gonna probably get that stretched that much more thinner because. Of the extra assets we have on hand.
it might, but it should be de minimis, I mean, honestly, because just look at the facilities that we have now. And the maintenance that's really required for public works to do that. And these are all going to be new pedestrian facilities, brand new up to code. So I'm really looking forward to, it's kind of like buying a new house.
Yeah, 10, 15 years from now, we're gonna have to do repairs, obviously, but.
So, yeah. And then if, you know, if a truck drives over it or crushes a curb or does things like that, and we'll look at, you know, who's responsible and make sure to hold them accountable.
So I'm gonna throw in 2 cents real quick here and say, this is why we should get around to updating our transportation master plans. So that we have the data on what's existing. To budget for this and put away a small percentage, but I do see your point of. The maintenance may go up. Based on the new assets, but in reality, they're not new assets. The only new asset is the high vis crosswalk.
Right.
Everything else already has a ramp. It already has a curb.
Or doesn't have.
Or has something like that, so. So you are presuming that we are going to start maintaining some of these corners that honestly we haven't had to maintain or we haven't updated or anything like that. So, yes, if we do it right, a percentage, like literally like 1% of this. Should be put away every biennium to just make sure that we have money to take care of it. But it's something we should be doing anyways, which is why we need to update our transportation master plan. Really, what this is a $3.7 million shot in the arm for a bunch of crosswalks and ramps that we don't have to build anymore. Don't get me wrong, I hate the agreement. I hate dealing with certain state agencies listed in this agreement. They are very frustrating to work with, but Mark has done a great job and I will keep my frustrations with the agreement to a minimum. And I will just refer to a couple of trap doors in here that I want to make sure everybody's aware of. And we'll go from there, but Mr. Counselor Black had more questions.
I was gonna go with what was on the request about the financial. Small.
Counselor Over.
I had one more thing there. Are they gonna make us get rid of the sidewalks that were not approved by ODOT? That was one of the things. I didn't see that in here, but
Are you talking about the crosswalks?
the ones that were put in years ago.
Yeah, if you're talking about the white lines across the highway, yeah, those are gotta go.
Yeah, because I figured it's contingent upon us doing our end and making things. Forcing people out that way versus.
There would be, if you look at all the plans for everything from where they're gonna start up north all the way down to Academy. you know, there's gonna be some bulb outs, there's gonna be some things that are a little bit more progressive. And honestly, you know, it's gonna go hand in hand with the reduction of the speed limit on North Main Street to 20 miles an hour. So I think it's gonna be a lot better. I think the architecture is gonna be better. I think it's gonna be pleasing to drive through town, maybe get people to slow down a little bit. And although, you know, we are an extremely blessed community because we haven't had those pedestrian crashes, people crossing Highway 214. If there's a way, if there's a way for us to try and help eliminate those in the future, I think we've got to do that.
I wish we were getting one of those high vis at Markham's.
We're not done with that.
Okay,
So one of the things that has come up in our conversation and will likely happen as a part of this project. So, and it's kind of all merging together, so bear with me. So it'll be 20 miles an hour through town, all the way up to Taylor Street. And then at Taylor Street, it goes up a little bit, but it only goes up for like a block because, stay with me, right there is a school zone. And so what I told ODOT was that if they're not gonna put in a high visibility pedestrian crossing there, I want a high visibility school zone. Meaning I want flashing lights anytime it's a school zone. So that people will actually see and think about it as they're approaching. And they were all
good. It's the single spot that worries me the most for the community children. You have a misaligned intersection and you don't run the kids down one side because there's no sidewalk over there. And you don't run them down the other side because there's no sidewalk over there. We run them right through the middle of essentially a chicane. So, all right, so I'm glad that's getting addressed.
we're definitely addressing.
Okay. Counselor Eater. Counselor Donahue.
I do have one question, because it's just 214, correct, they're working on? And Markham is also a state highway,
Markham is a county.
county highway.
County.
And when are they gonna address some of the issues on East Markham?
I couldn't possibly even venture a guess. Marion County is Marion County.
Are we even on the radar on that or not?
We're on the radar. We're on the radar. But they've got their own schedule.
This gonna start? When that's gonna start?
This?
Yeah.
They were originally telling me sometime within the next year. With the presentation of the contract, thinking sooner, but we'll have to see.
It's contingent upon how good or bad the special session is.
No, the money's already present for this project, all the way around.
That was just one of my main, other main concerns.
Yeah, no, the special session is one day on August 29th, just to deal with ODOT's main budget.
So is this part of the safe routes to school?
That's how it started. Yeah, this kind of blends the safe route to school thing. With the ADA ramp project, the ADA ramp project with ODOT has been going on all over the state.
Watch that happen more, so that. It took their time.
Yeah.
Messed up on a few.
Oh, heck. For school, but there's a lot of communities.
And we're really hoping on, you know, maybe one contractor versus another, because, you know, on our earlier overlay project on the north side, we had to do some ADA ramps, and that contractor was right in there and got it the first time. Really hoping that they'll get the contract again.
So I'm going to share my concerns and then I'm gonna be done. Because I live in these contracts way too much. So, just so everybody's aware. And I don't know if this will actually happen, I haven't seen the drawings in depth, but. It says, the agency agrees to accept any property transferred by the state that is no longer needed for the construction of the project. If said project is no longer needed by agency for public road purposes, it shall revert to ODOT. I believe all the land that ODOT acquires for this construction should be needed by the agency and shall not revert back to ODOT.
Yep,
Unless I read something wrong.
no, we're gonna claim everything.
The, we shall get project plans prior to construction of the project. I think we already have, the draft set. Hopefully we can link that on our interwebs stuff. And, I'm curious the servability of this, but the maintenance obligations in this section shall survive the termination of the agreement. And the last bit, and this is just to make sure. When this is done, we need copies of the warranty information, all the approved submittals, and any operations and maintenance manual supplied by the contractor, so that we don't end up with devices that we don't know how to service. Okay, I put my 2 cents in, I feel better, thank you.
Aren't those all required by your submittals anyways? All your as.
To ODOT.
To ODOT, yeah, oh, but not to the. I got you.
To the project,
We'll get everything.
okay.
Oh.
What's that?
I said absolutely.
All right, that's what I wanna hear. So with that. I would accept a motion on the ODOT, Americans with Disability Act curb ramp improvement project agreement.
I approve or make a motion to approve the city manager to sign and enter into an intergovernmental agreement with the Oregon Department of Transportation. The installation of traffic control devices and curb ramps as detailed in agreement number 73,000.0003979 between the city of Mount Angel and ODOT.
Second,
We have a motion by Counselor Astorga, seconded by Counselor Black. Have a roll call, please.
Counselor Hooker. Aye.
Aye.
Counselor Astorga.
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Ott is absent. Counselor Velez.
aye,
Counselor Ear.
Aye.
Mayor Fallon.
Aye. Master fee schedule adoption, resolution 1610.
I apologize for my typo last month, so I'm bringing this before you so that we can adopt proper fee for the 2-inch meter.
So it's $486 for the year?
Yes, because I took how many customers times the difference between 142.12 and the 124, which we passed last month. That's all it costs us.
Can I ask you, so
1 month of lower rates for those.
it's $486 a month?
No, well, yes, that would be, and we're catching it with only 1 month
Okay,
gone by. We're gonna correct this for August moving forward, so we only incorrectly billed July. That makes sense?
no, it makes sense. I was curious if that was monthly or annually, because if it was gonna be annually, I was gonna say, is it worth our time? Should we just leave it for a year?
It's gonna be annually because we caught it after 1 month, which is that's the month.
That's the 1 month, okay, so realistically, you're looking at closer to $6,500 for the year?
Yeah.
Okay. And we adopt rates the beginning of every year, correct?
Mhm.
Okay. Sorry, any other questions?
we don't go back for correcting the bill because it was actually the stated rate. That we approved. Yes.
So we either send out a notice and fix it now, or we lose out on $6,500 in revenue and fix it in a year. Any other questions? Okay. I will entertain a motion.
I move to approve the attached resolution adopting a master fee schedule for services provided by the city.
Second.
We have a motion by Counselor Hofer, seconded by Counselor Astorga.
Counselor Eater,
Aye.
Counselor Hofer. Counselor Astorga,
Aye.
Counselor Donahue. Aye. Counselor Todd is absent. Counselor Black,
Aye.
Mayor Fowler.
No. Just think we should just eat it.
No or nay?
Nay.
No.
City managers report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I spoke about the Senator Merkley grant that I had written last council meeting, and unfortunately, I don't think we came up with enough good thoughts to make it out of committee. As I got an email last week, that basically the community initiated project CIP submission for Railroad Avenue reconstruction did not make it out of the Senate Appropriations Subcommittee and into the fiscal year 26 Senate mark. The appropriations budget draft for fiscal year 26. And is no longer being considered for funding. Senator Merkley's office told me that this has been a dynamic, unprecedented year with multiple unexpected twists and turns, beginning with the Republican blockage of the fiscal year 25 budget. This resulted in nearly all of last year's successfully included CIPs being resubmitted in the fiscal year 26 process, thereby leaving less resources available for new projects, resubmissions, and other important projects statewide. So this was a resubmission. I have reached out to Senator Merkley's office, and I am waiting to hear back about information on how best to approach requesting these funds once again moving forward. So I'm not done because I don't know what the word no means most of the time. Looking across the street, the gazebo project is really taking shape. I'm very proud of it. Public Works, I think everybody's proud. Looks great. The flooring and siding are awesome. Tomorrow morning, in fact, at 7 a.m., the steps and the ADA ramp will be poured. So people who are getting up in age, but those who are disabled and otherwise have a little bit of a problem with mobility will actually be able to go up there and maybe enjoy the lunch, enjoy a different perspective of Oktoberfest. I think it's going to be really, really awesome to be able to have that facility in shape for Oktoberfest. In fact, I met with Oktoberfest this last week, and they're very excited about it, saying that it looks great. The post and the railing, posts for the railing were installed today. And then we'll wait until after Oktoberfest to kind of go back over and redo the irrigation and any of the landscaping that we need to do moving. But these guys have been rocking it out of the park. It's doing a great job. OFES planning is going well as well. Also, recently met with the OFES board last week. There were no significant items of interest discussed during our meeting, which affect the festival or any of our preparation efforts. Look for connections with the 60th anniversary. You will likely see some ties to previous year's festivals. I'm not sure exactly what those will look like or how they'll be presented, but they're looking for opportunities to tie this year's festival to previous years. So be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow is National Night Out on North Garfield Block between Charles and College from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. I anticipate a large crowd because the weather's going to be really, really good. We'll have some amazing things there. We'll have great food. We'll have a band. The library will be represented. Face painting, all kinds of really cool stuff for the whole community. Good.
Can you repeat the time for us?
6 p.m.
Thank you.
to 8 p.m. on the block. And then I wanted to share that this is really awesome because most communities of any size, mostly bigger, have multiple ideations of National Night Out. We're no exception. We have two actually happening tomorrow. We have one here at the Glockenspiel, and then one up in our neighborhood just up off of Alder. They're going to be holding their own National Night Out. So I'm going to be stretched between two. Like, how's it with this one? And run up and talk with the other. So it's going to be actually pretty cool. I'll just, I'm sure that there are council questions, but I'll just hit a couple high notes, maybe one low note. I'm still playing phone tag with an entomologist with the Oregon Department of Agriculture, in regards to flies. I still continue to do lots of research. Apparently there was, an actual investigation done sometime between 2010 and 2020, I'm told. But I don't know where that is. I don't know exactly who did it, but the Department of Agriculture was allegedly involved. So we'll see if there are any documents from that investigation. So we'll see how things progress, but slow going. And then I will yield the remainder of my time.
So, this summer, we've had a teen intern, her name is Johanna Morantz, okay? And I just wanted her to see what a city council meeting would look like, as part of her experience this summer, and I don't know if you have anything you'd like to say.
Just that I'm working on the summer reading program and it's going really well. We have like over 300 participants that put into our system. So it's going really well and we're going really high up from last year. So it's exciting.
Yeah, she's doing a great job and I'm just really thankful for her presence here this summer because we have been busy.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for being part. Very articulate and very bright and very welcome. So thank you. Mr. Mayor?
Any questions before we move on to councilor reports? Fantastic. Councilor Astorga.
I might not be here. October's council meeting on the 6th.
Unacceptable.
I'm coaching football this year. I'm assistant coach for JFK, so I'll be in North Marion.
Still.
Go Trojans.
Councilor Donahue. Councilor Black. Councilor Hofer.
Good.
Council President Eager.
You know, I always do. I think it's somebody's birthday tomorrow. That's why they're having National Night Out.
Birthday for that.
Yeah, happy birthday tomorrow.
Do we need to notify fire department for the number of candles or are we good?
We're here, so.
Fantastic. Be on the lookout. Small contained fire on top of birthday cake tomorrow.
Well, they'll be present.
Anything else?
Nope,
Did you want to sing to him?
nope.
Okay.
Thank you.
I have already shared most of my grouchy opinions this evening, but I will state that tomorrow night is National Night Out, and I would encourage everybody at the table to participate and be present in the community that we represent and not leave one or two of us to be the local punching bags. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
You don't want to be.
Is there anything else for the good of the order?
We don't go around with the sign that says I'm the mayor.
God, no. The only thing saving me is eggs are expensive. All right, with that, I am going to adjourn the meeting.